Hello YouTubers and welcome to the Inferno Project. Today I'm going to be doing a DVD discussion. I've got some music this time to go with it, which belongs to the BBC. I'm going to be, as you may have guessed from the theme song, Trial of a Time Lord. This is a very divided box that I found. I'm going to do a bit of discussion on it. So, this needs a bit of backstory. In 1985, Doctor Who was called off. It was given an 18-month hiatus due to complaints about the show. It was too violent, or perhaps it just wasn't up to the standard it once was, which, in all fairness, some of the stories weren't. So, in here, you have 4 stories. They make up one story arc, similar to The Key to Time from 1978 and 79. This is The Trial of a Time Lord, which is quite an interesting concept because you have the Doctor on trial here, and Doctor Who as a TV show is also on trial. So, it's a nice little thing. So, the first DVD you have is The Mysterious Planet, which is the first 4 parts. Oh, forgot to mention, this is a 14-part story. So, you could say it's the longest story in history, but I don't count it because it's split into 4. So, Trial of a Time Lord, The Mysterious Planet. This is definitely the weaker of the lot, but it's still really good. It opens really nicely into the courtroom, with the Doctor being put on initially an inquiry, and we're instantly getting why is he there, how did he get there, where's he come from, and probably the biggest question, where's Perry? As she was his companion in the story at the end of the previous season, Revelation of the Daleks. So, you have, this basically centers around the Doctor arriving on the planet Ravolox, and there are strange similarities between Ravolox and Earth, and the Doctor is a little bit, well, what is this? So gradually after sort of looking around, they come across, it often feels a bit like the Crotons. If you've seen that story, if you haven't seen that story, don't get it, it's appalling. I've got it on iTunes, it's awful. It's very much like this, and this one is better than the Crotons. It's basically a group of Earth primitives being controlled by a higher power, and this is effectively almost like it's a robot in control that it's trying to carry out its commands, but it's having problems with it. Trial of a Time Lord is really good. Trial of a Time Lord, Mysterious Planet is still pretty good though, and I think it's hugely underrated. Nowhere near as bad as people say it is, so very enjoyable still. Mind Warp. This is parts 5 to 8, generally regarded as the best one of the 4. This one is good, it's not as good as people say it is in my opinion. This follows directly, I forgot to mention, in Mysterious Planet, Perry is with the Doctor, and Perry has a big part in this, Mind Warp. It centers around the planet Thoros Beta, which is where the Doctor's foe Syl from Vengeance on Varos is situated, where it's his home planet, and it's all about sort of trying to postpone death, and it's about trying to the mentors, which is Syl's species, basically being second-rate gods, which is not something you want, but not really. But this is still very enjoyable. The Doctor is incredibly irritating. I feel so sorry for Colin Baker in the first couple of parts. He's just, especially in the second part, he's really bad. Not his fault. Colin Baker's a great actor. I've seen him in other stuff, and he's great. Just the script work and directors in this, I just don't think were very good. However, one thing I will say is that the Doctor and Perry have stopped arguing, they've sorted themselves out, which is, it's about time, really. So this is very enjoyable still. I put it almost on par with Mysterious Planet, actually, which is quite an odd thing to do. Then have parts 9 to 12, which is Terror of the Vervoids. This, I think, is easily the best part. You get the introduction to the a sort of introduction to the companion now, and this is Colin Baker at his best. If only he'd been like this from the beginning. He's much more mellow, he's not so sort of brash and arrogant, he's sharp still, he's very full of justice like all the other Doctors. If we'd had more stories like this, I think Doctor Who could have carried way on into the 90s. It could have survived. This is very good. It centers around, this time, on a space liner in the Doctor's future. He uses this as evidence to prove his innocence to the court. He is basically arrives, and it's a whodunit story. And who doesn't love a good whodunit story? Yeah, love that pun. And then accidentally, you have someone you're basically hunting for him. So look. There's a distress call being emitted, but there's a murder's also being committed, and in the process, a load of killer plants have basically come along and basically try to kill everyone. It's awesome. They're trying to unlock, find out who's up to what. It's very clever. So, a very, very, very moving story. Again, this is alongside Mind Warp. The details are quite distorted and quite unclear due to the fact we don't know there's some tampering within the evidence. Tampering within the Matrix where the evidence is stored. So, it's not the clearest, but still very good. As I said in my favourite story for each Doctor, this was my second favourite. And then finally, move on to The Ultimate Foe. This is very good. Again, like The Mysterious Planet, I think it's underrated. I love the Master. Anthony Ainley is good. My favourite is Roger Delgado, but Anthony Ainley is a very close second. What I really like about this story is it's nice and compact. It's a two-parter. This does have a troubled history. Eric Saywood, it was initially written by Robert Holmes, but he died sadly after finishing the first draft. And Eric Saywood was initially, who was the script editor, was initially commissioned to redo it, to finish it. But he and John Nathan Turner disagreed about how it should end, and this led, I think, to one of the biggest blows in Doctor Who's history when Eric Saywood resigned. If Eric Saywood had remained, Doctor Who could have continued, I think. But overall, this is still really good. It's a little bit convoluted at times, and the Doctor once again is making a load of weird facial expressions, but this is still very enjoyable, and again, underrated, I think. Lots of very nice little twists and turns. The whole plot about the Valeyard, I think, was so clever, and I think we need a bit more scripts like this. Trial of the Time Lord, if something along those lines had been the first part of Colin Baker, I think Colin Baker could have carried on, and I think that's a crying shame. And the fact that he was sacked at the end, after the broadcast, I think that was a bit of a shame, really. I mean, Doctor Who at that point was in a huge mess, and I think Colin Baker could have held it together. Yeah, I think it's a shame. And they sacked him. They brought in Sylvester McCoy, and Sylvester McCoy showed why he's a good actor. He kept it together for so long, but The Ultimate Foe, I think, is still very good. So overall, this box set, I think, is still very good. I think it's one anyone should get. I think if you're a Colin Baker fan, this is essential. If you don't like Colin Baker's stuff, I still recommend you should get this, because this is different, and I think you need to give it a try. But overall, I thought it was really good. So this is well worth the purchase. I'm so glad I purchased this. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the music having the music having some video, the video having some music this time around. If some of you may have seen that I attempted that with my DVD discussion of Frontier in Space, which ended in failure. But overall, thank you very much for watching. Like the video, subscribe to my channel perhaps if you like what I'm doing. And as I've said, I am eventually going to branch into other forms of science fiction and fantasy, as well as my opinion, the greatest science fiction series of all time, Doctor Who. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.